What would you do if you suddenly face a rampaging crowd out to lynch two armed police constables who too have their fingers on their rifles? It was Mr. Deepak Gupta, the 1974 batch IAS officer's first posting as district magistrate in Bihar's Saharsa. Today, we are going to talk to him not only about this incident but several others that came across his 37 years old journey as a civil servant. The former UPSC chairman also has been part of policy formulations on several burning issues like flood control, energy crisis, and climate change. Let's go across to Mr. Gupta. So, a very warm welcome to Indian Mastermind, sir. कि जब आप ट्रेनिंग करके निकले तो आपका जो पहला असाइनमेंट था, आपको जो कार्डर मिला दैट वाज बिहार कार्डर.
हाँ.
उस समय झारखंड नहीं बना था.
हाँ.
बाद में आप झारखंड पहुंचे तो बिहार कार्डर था. तो व्हाट वाज योर रिएक्शन कि साहब दिस इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट बैकवर्ड एरियाज ऑफ द कंट्री और मुझे वहाँ जाना पड़ रहा है, तो कैसे काम होगा, कैसे फैमिली रहेगी, कैसे बच्चों की एजुकेशन होगी? Were these the concerns for you?
There were जब बिहार कार्डर मिला था कंसर्न्स तो थे
जी.
और शुरू में जब ट्रेनिंग हुई थी और मेरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ट्रेनिंग हुई थी तो मुझे अच्छा भी नहीं लग रहा था और मैंने बीच में मेरा दूसरा इंटरेस्ट एकेडमिक्स और जर्नलिज्म वगैरह था. मैंने एमफिल भी JNU से किया था. आई वाज वेटिंग टू डू माय PhD व्हेन आई जॉइन द IAS. सो आई हैड number of times I thought of resigning from the service, not liking the conditions in Bihar very much, and then to pursue this journalist career or something. But then my father told me, look here, this is a challenge and that is why you have joined the IAS. And जब बिहार में देखते थे बिहार की स्थिति तो बहुत बुरा भी लगता था. तो फिर एक ये माइंड में आया कि भाई अब आप सर्विस में आए, चैलेंज है और आप जितना आप कर सकते हैं स्टेट के लिए आपका ड्यूटी बनता है आप करो. और देन वी हैड अ गुड टाइम इन बिहार. इट वाज अ बिग चैलेंज बट वी एंजॉयड आवर टाइम इन बिहार एंड इन झारखंड, नॉट सो मच इन झारखंड बट वी हैड इट वाज टफ बट चैलेंजिंग. एंड आई आल्सो हैड my children had to leave and come and get educated in Delhi and I had to live alone for many years. That's all part of the job.
क्योंकि बिहार में एजुकेशन सिस्टम अच्छा नहीं था, बच्चों की पढ़ाई की फैसिलिटीज़ नहीं थी, इसलिए आपने उनको दिल्ली में रखा?
नहीं, मेरी पोस्टिंग असल में पहले बीच में बोकारो में हुई थी. उसके बाद सडनली आई वाज पोस्टेड बिकॉज ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स इन द डिस्ट्रिक्ट. आई वाज पोस्टेड टू रोहतास डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड देन माय चिल्ड्रन वर 4 to 5, 6 years old. In that district there was no good schools.
रोहतास में.
And I did not know anybody in Patna, so where will the children study? Therefore, they had to come to Delhi. My in-laws were here, so we thought that they better have a steady education at one school in Delhi. So they came here.
तो और आपको जो शुरू में बहुत चैलेंजिंग सिचुएशंस का सामना करना पड़ा, उसमें आपने डिस्क्राइब किया है कि जो आप रोहतास से दिल्ली आ रहे थे अपनी फैमिली से मिलने के लिए पहली बार, और बीच में राइटर्स थे वो पुलिस पे पत्थर बरसा रहे थे.
हाँ.
और ऑलमोस्ट लिंच करने वाले थे.
हाँ. अजीब और गरीब स्थिति थी वो. हाँ.
तो ये स्पर ऑफ द मोमेंट में आपको डिसीजन लेना था कि कैसे बचाएं और इनको शांत भी करें.
यस.
वो कैसे आपने मैनेज किया?
अब वो तो स्पर ऑफ द मोमेंट की बात है. आई मीन एंड दैट इज I think one of the important things, both for in general it is important for people, but for our service and the police service, etc., it's very important to have presence of mind. You should be able to gauge immediately what is the likely seriousness of the situation, what could cause problem, and then try to address it before it becomes a problem. So I think that kind of instinctive reaction led कि भाई पहले क्या करना है, दूसरा क्या करना है, जल्दी में क्या करना है. जैसे वो होम गार्ड राइफल के साथ घूम रहे हैं तो वो कहीं उन्होंने गोली चला दी, किसी को लग गई तो उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा. तो राइफल उनसे लेना पहले बहुत ज़रूरी है. और बॉडी है वहाँ पे, लोग आएंगे, बॉडी को देख के इमोशंस राइज करेंगे तो फिर बॉडी को हटाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. So one by one you have to think of that kind of thing. It was luckily it worked. but it
It could have
yes,
any time gone
it
out
really
of the...
could have. And my father, in his biography, has written about a very, very difficult communal situation in Kanpur in British times.
Okay.
And he has told the story of how he managed to contain it, he almost single-handedly by his actions. And then he said, people said that Gupta saved Kanpur. So I felt in a mini way, I was able to save that little town of Sasaram, and I felt quite proud, and I felt my father would have also been very proud of me.
तो जो लेसन्स थे बचपन से आपको, जो ब्यूरोक्रेसी में, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में, क्राउड कंट्रोल, ये सब जो आपने टेल सुनी थी, वो कहीं ना कहीं आपके काम आई.
जरूर. आई थिंक मेन चीज ये है कि फादर को जो देखा लाइफ भर में काम करते हुए, उनका डेडिकेशन, वो किस तरीके से केसेस सुपरविजन करते थे, उनकी मेहनत, और क्या चीज़ सोच रहे हैं जिससे वो काम अच्छा हो. आई थिंक दैट हेल्प ग्रेटली. एंड वी ऑलवेज फेल्ट that to do this kind of public service, you have to do it in this way, and you have to go something beyond the routine also. Business as usual will not work, and you have to bring some feeling, some passion into this work of yours. It's a duty, actually, almost like a moral imperative. That is the kind of feeling with which you have to do work.
You just don't have to work, you just have to work from the soul.
यस. हमारा टीवी का प्रोग्राम है, मैंने डिस्क्राइब किया उसमें भी और इसमें भी. तो फील्ड में मैं बहुत जाता था, डिफरेंट स्टेट, डिफरेंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स, एंड बहुत जगह लोगों ने, जो हमारे स्टाफ थे, वो बोलते थे कि साहब आप यहाँ आए, आप इस तरीके से बात कर रहे हो, ये कर रहे हो, एंड वी आर सीइंग अ काइंड ऑफ पैशन, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज इंस्पायरिंग अस टू डू द वर्क. So, it's not your passion only, and then it spreads to other, you become a team, and I think that kind of thing can lead you to do much more than what normally one can do.
हाँ, आपने अपने डिस्क्राइब भी किया. You described an incident in the book wherein you distributed land pattas to the landless bonded laborers. And that too, you bent some rules also.
Yes. Well, first of all, the first rule we broke was that there was no financial model. As per the rules, you could not give that kind of assistance, financial assistance. So I told the bank manager, we have to do it. We are doing it for a very good cause. And so long as the money is going to come back, we should be able to do our own thing. But the more important thing was that we gave them a mine. Not a mine, it's a small hillock actually, because we are going to mine for small chips of stone. It was a stone type of a hill, but in the records it was mentioned as a forest
land.
So I asked about this stone land where we are traveling by road nearby and all that. How can it be a forest land? Let us be realistic. So there was opposition to it, but then we gave the lease to them. We'll see what will happen.
And these bonded laborers, rather former bonded laborers, they quarried the mine and sold off the stone and repaid the entire money.
Absolutely, it was a marvelous thing. I don't know subsequently what happened after I left, but it was a marvelous thing, and they were the experts, so they did excellent work, and everything worked well. वो मैगजीन ने उसके बाद वो एक आई थी स्टोरी करने के लिए लिखा, ऐसे बदले उनके दिन. So it was a
so you
remarkable
provided
thing.
them livelihood,
Yes.
you provided them housing, you provided them water, everything. तो एक चीज से, एक आपके फैसले से कितने ढेर सारे लोगों की पूरी जिंदगी बदल गई.
हाँ, yes. And it can happen, and in fact that can be done in many things, and that is one of the things that service officers have to do, and that is the strength of this service. You have to think of people and try to do things which can be replicated, scaled up, repeated, etc., etc. Lots of good things are happening and can be done, and that is what I am saying. There is a lot of action which officers at their individual level can take wherever they may be placed. They can do a lot of good Nobody is going to tell you not to do that. It's up to you. You have to take the initiative. You have to work hard. You have to think of new ideas and find out things to do. So in our, at least in my memoirs, I have tried to tell what are the kind of initiatives we took at different places and what worked. Sometimes they did not work also.
Yeah. In fact, the good thing about your book and your memoirs is that all the episodes you have mentioned, they are all solution oriented, not the problem. You're not just narrating the problem, but you're also offering the solution, possible solution to those problems.
I think one of the very important thing people keep asking, what qualities should there be in civil servants, and this is also a legacy, something which we learned from our father. You must be a problem solver, and everywhere, even, and the smaller the problem, it is necessary to nip it in the bud and to solve it at that time. So look at everything and try to resolve these problems. So that is how one approached. If I have to do flood repair work and I have 3 months to do it, what is it that I can do so that in 3 months I can do this work? This is the problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem. So I have to now.
Look for the
I
solution.
I cannot make that 3 months into 4 months.
Right.
So how can I finish best in 3 months? So you have to put your mind to it and try to find a solution.
Another tricky situation which you have mentioned in your book, and which may be a lesson to a lot of young bureaucrats, is the lawyers' unrest.
Yes.
The pen down strike by the lawyers, they boycotted your court. And that is a situation being faced by a lot of bureaucrats, a lot of district collectors in office. The lawyers had boycotted your court, and you decided to proceed with hearings without lawyers.
Yes.
And that's how you achieved swift disposal of
Yes.
lot many cases. Then was the norm.
All the cases listed for the day. All. First day, second day, third day, next week, first day, second day, third day. I thought history is in the making.
And then all
The
lawyers
reason, see,
came on the knees.
these were mostly revenue cases, the poor areas, simple disputes. Now, in simple disputes, people know what the truth is. You are fighting with him.
कि मेरी
You also know what is true. He also knows what is true. I don't know why you are fighting. For some reason, you have come to the court. So the solution is very simple. I don't have to make learned arguments about this or that, except for maybe a couple of cases. And people also know. So once nobody is there to argue the paper, etc., they clearly will tell you. So you have to, you have. It's very easy to decide very quickly. Secondly, for me to be able to have go to the court, it required people to trust me, because now there is no protection with the lawyer for you. Nobody was there to defend you. It's between you and me. So the biggest thing I felt was that people were able to trust. Why did they trust me? That I am giving my dispute over to this young officer and he will do justice. So they must have faith.
right.
If they have faith, then I must have done something to create that faith. There must be credibility.
Right.
So I think that is a very important thing. They have faith in the administration or system, and I have done something to create faith. I can move mountains if I have that. And I think Indian administration lacks that faith, does not generate that faith in people.
Sir, India.
I'll give you another example.
जी जी.
In the second district, much later, in Rohtas, we had this program of house building for the poor.
Right.
And I built lot of houses before. When I went there, I saw the previous houses that were built. They were not good quality. People were mostly not living in them because the location was not nice or the quality was not nice. Then we made a lot of effort to have nice quality, good houses, and where people wanted them. Then one day, a group of 40 scheduled caste people came to me and said, "Sahab, आप हमारे घर जहाँ हम रह रहे हैं तोड़ के हमारा घर बना दो." मैंने कहा, मैं तुम्हारा घर तोड़ के बना दूं और मैं ना बनाऊं तो? कल नहीं, वो तो बनेगा ही। तो हमको पता है, इसीलिए तो हम लोग आए हैं। तो साहब, उन्होंने फिर हमने उनका घर तोड़ा और 3 महीने के अंदर उनको सारा नया घर दिया. And in fact, it became our policy that we will now build houses only where people demand that their existing thing should be broken. And there was a huge demand at we did not have enough funds. Otherwise, I could have built thousands of houses. One could have built. But again, credibility and trust and faith. So these, I think, are very critical.
हाँ, अधिकतर होता है कि शहर के बाहर कोई एक जगह पे उनके लिए आपने घर बना दिए और कोई वहाँ रहने नहीं जाता है.
वो तो हाँ, ये ज्यादातर तो घर वो गांव में बन रहे हैं.
जी जी.
गांव में बनते थे.
जी जी. तो गांव में जो सबसे बड़ी समस्या आती है, व्हाट वी हैव विटनेस्ड ओवर द इयर्स इज दीज लैंड डिस्प्यूट्स एज यू क्लियरली सेड, और वो सालों साल, जनरेशंस आफ्टर जनरेशंस दे कीप ऑन ड्रैगिंग और वो कभी रिजॉल्व नहीं होते हैं. तो ये जैसा आपने मॉडल बताया, तो ये इम्प्लीमेंट क्यों नहीं हो सकता? व्हाई इज नॉट?
ये तो अब हमारे सिस्टम में ये हम लोग डिस्प्यूट रेजोल्यूशन का हमें लोकल मैकेनिज्म ढूंढना है.
जी.
For a large portion of the disputes, not that every dispute will be resolved, but we have to find a mechanism for dispute settlement at the local level. पुराने ज़माने में बात हुई थी कि whether पंचायत can do it, but then there are divisions within the पंचायत, there are caste division, there are class divisions, etc. That also plays its role. But we have to, somehow or the other, the culture in India is to have more disputes. Even when the issue is quite black and white, we know. And then there are people encouraging people to fight. And they say, then court mein le chalte hain. And then there is a vested interest of many people who have done law. That, you know, after all, the more people go to court, the better the opportunities are.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere that of so much pendency in the court, the maximum number of cases pertain to bouncing checks.
Yes.
And how it should not be made criminal offense.
Yes.
And how they can be resolved out of the court so that the pendency comes down.
Yes. So our point is, justice to be effective has to be quick.
Right.
It has to act as a deterrent to wrongdoing. If you allow for cases to keep pending, then I'm safe to do wrong because I know nothing will happen to me. We have witnessed murder cases in the district. The person knew he may be arrested, he may go to jail, he may stay for 1 year, 2 years in jail.
But he'll come out.
He is quite likely to come out on bail. तो जो उसका objective था वो हो गया. Punishment नहीं मिलेगी. So punishment has to, the person must know that he will get punished and it will come quickly. That is the deterrent. In the check bouncing cases, if you keep them pending, then everybody is free. And in England, I'm told it takes a week.
Right.
Because the check has bounced, you have committed a crime.
Exactly.
There is no evidence required.
या तो आप जेल जाओ.
नहीं, jail, everything is solution is not a jail. हाँ, आप पैसे दिलवाओ उनसे, जो भी है.
Whether you attach his property or whatever.
Yes. So the fundamental thing is, and even in the service when we talk of a person who is honest, good worker, and a person who is dishonest and a bad worker. So the other person I cannot remove. I may or may not reward this person, but the other person I cannot remove and he will rise to the top. So people say that if this kind of person can reach the top, you have not punished. You have not punished whatever the wrongdoings. Then that is worst for the system. You are not only not rewarding the honest people or the workers, you are also allowing the others to get. So they must know that if they do wrong, they will be punished. There will be consequences.
And Bihar has a perennial problem of floods, which you have mentioned in the book, and you also try to tackle it in Saharsa probably.
Yes, I was 3 years irrigation commissioner, so I had a very difficult time with floods in Bihar, yes.
And it's basically because of water coming from Nepal.
Yes.
So, of means for so many years, Bihar is facing Kosi's curse, what they call, and other rivers also when they are in a spate in say August and September, the situation is goes uncontrollable. तो इतने सालों के बाद भी हम क्यों कोई मेजर्स
I
नहीं
think
कर पाए हैं?
वो जो फ्लड की प्रॉब्लम है, वेरी डिफिकल्ट वन टू मैनेज, एंड उसके रीजन बहुत डिफरेंट, बिकॉज द गंगा इज द ड्रेन,
राइट,
and what is the level of the Ganga determines the floods in Bihar. Bihar has no control over the level of the Ganga. If there is rain in this side and the water level of Ganges has risen by 2 feet, then Kosi and Gandak and all that water is not going to drain into the Ganga. Then it has no place to go to, and it has lot of rain and etc. is coming from the hills, Himalayas. So that where will that water go? So it will either go above the embankment, or it will try to break the embankment or spread. That is the problem. So say Kosi barrage, before that there is a lot of siltation.
Yeah.
So the levels have risen. So the area where the water can be accommodated is declining. So these are genuine and very big problems. It's not easy to manage, and I think things are going, unfortunately, if the sea level rises, just imagine if the sea level rises by 2 feet, what will be the consequences in future?
So Ganga water will not go into the sea.
It will rise more,
and
so this level will rise more.
Yeah,
so these are things which people really need to take a view. That is why it was a Kosi dam was thought of
in Nepal
so many years ago.
But still it has not.
It would have served as a flood protection measure.
Right.
Because when it rains heavily, it stores the water.
Right.
When the water level here declines, then you release the water, it will flow away. Terry Dam is a very big dam.
Yes.
And that is why I say that there must be a flood management program, should it be possible. If I know that 48 hours later, there is going to be big outflow from the Nepal rivers into the Ganges, I should stop releasing water of Terry. Or otherwise, I should release and make the Terry Dam empty.
Beforehand.
Empty.
Beforehand, yeah.
And let the water coming from here be stored here while that drains away. This requires a kind of very dynamic software assisted flood management system between different dams.
Kind of artificial intelligence.
I don't know. I suppose it can be done, but this requires a lot of coordination. Maybe what I'm saying.
Because so far, what I had learned and I have read in so many newspapers, magazines, and books, that Bihar flood is caused by Kosi and nobody ever blamed Ganges. This is the first time I'm hearing कि सब गंगा की वजह से flooding होती है, कोसी की वजह से नहीं होती.
क्योंकि पानी तो उसी में जाएगा ना कोसी का. ये समझने वाली बात है actually. But I faced this in Saharsa. I was trying to wonder why the water is not flowing away.
Because every now and then people call Kosi the curse of Bihar.
Yes, it becomes then the curse, because Ganga does not spread. Ganga also spreads. But the real spread is Kosi, and then either Gandak, Bagmati and all that. And Kosi ka yet come directly from Mount Everest. Short distance, long slope, very almost straight down.
Right.
So it comes with terrific speed. Water comes with terrific speed. So it is very difficult to manage in the embankments, because it comes with such speed. So water is becomes a machine.
So why is Nepal not cooperating with India?
No, it's very difficult to go. I think earlier years that kind did not happen. I think Nepal wanted a high price for the electricity, which we were perhaps not prepared to give. I think we should have given a higher price.
Because that would have saved so many lives,
but
property.
It would never have been easy to build a dam there. It's a big dam. But just imagine high up in the Himalayas.
But you can always build a dam
we should have. I always feel we should have come to some settlement, because everybody would have gained. Nepal would have gained 100% irrigation. Nepal would have got the Terai area, 100% irrigation. And North Bihar also 100% irrigation is possible, but for us flood protection would have been even more.
much beneficial.
Yeah, very beneficial.
So, and during your later days, you turned to energy when you came to Delhi. So, you turned to energy, renewable energy. So, what are your experiences?
I turned to energy when I became secretary MNRE.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very ministry favorite with the officers at that time because nothing much was happening. But that was the time when we declared our national action plan on climate change and the solar mission came. So my task was to make the solar mission. And while we were doing that, then we really tried to, we could understand what are the energy problems which are already there and what is going to come in the future. It became very clear. Future of the world depends upon clean energy.
You're right.
To a large extent, it depends upon clean energy. Otherwise, climate change is not going to be sorted out. So how we can make our energy cleaner and how we can produce more at an affordable cost and make it available to everybody is the biggest challenge of the country at the moment, I feel. Because even though health and education are critical, but if somebody is not well, it doesn't matter. But here the future of the country is at stake.
You're right.
So, and I think everybody in general also needs to understand that how you produce energy, how you distribute energy, how you consume energy, what we consume, all these are very important, and we have to come to a lifestyle kind of change where we are able to meet the threat from the climate change. I think most people still don't understand the threat from climate change. In my view, it is existential crisis is coming.
True.
And it's not far away. Maybe we may see it in our lifetime, but people don't know. So I am involved with all this. I'm reading a lot. I'm talking to people in my own
Countries
way
like-
from outside the system, trying to make it better and in terms of what policies, etc. we can do.
Islands like
That is why in my memoirs I have put energy transition
Right.
as a chapter.
Means, islands like Maldives are in any case in danger of
It will.
drowning.
It's not in danger. It will go under.
And in very near
Yes,
future.
in near future.
And similarly,
But India will be almost the worst affected in the world.
worst affected.
Worst affected.
Why do you say that?
Because we have a long coastline.
Yeah.
So all that coastline, that sea level rise will affect everything on the coastline.
But
Then the Himalayan glaciers will be affected, which will affect the rivers into India. If the heat which comes into northern and southern India, you are already beginning to see it's we have reached almost 50 degrees. So if 50 may become 55, we are already facing a water emergency in the rural areas. So, and we have this big population. So India is probably going to be the worst affected.
even
And
worse
that
than
realization is also not there.
even worse than New Zealand.
No, I mean, amongst the worst affected, I said. So Maldives will obviously disappear.
Yeah, that is going to disappear. But India's coastline.
For example, Russia won't be affected so much. In fact, much of Siberia will open up, possibly. North of Canada may open up.
They will get.
Europe will become a little hotter, but they have been quite cold.
Coming to renewable energy, so solar, wind energy, hydroelectric, these are the key components of renewable
Not
energy.
hydro.
Yeah.
Hydro is limited.
Okay, because water may resources.
Because it is very difficult now to make more and more hydro plants in the Himalaya range. Some, yes, like in Arunachal we are trying, but not much because the environmental issues have now become very earthquake or this or an extreme weather event like heavy rainfall, etc. It's very difficult to have landslides.
Right.
It's very difficult to have a lot of it. We require, see, today we have say 400 megawatt of capacity.
Mini hydro.
Nay, of the total.
Okay.
Coal is about 220, 30. Solar is 90. Solar is 90. In 2050, it might require to be 2000. From 90 gigawatt to 2000. Just imagine. This is the kind of requirement we are seeing. How will we put it? Where will we put it? All these are very critical questions.
Which is the cheapest and cleanest energy which we may tap in near future?
It has to be solar energy.
Okay.
Wind is not enough. Solar is there all the time. So the question is, and this issue, in fact, we were discussing it in that Chintan Shivar 2 days ago. Where will I deploy 2000? Will I deploy it on ground? Normally it is a ground mounted solar, or on my rooftop. But can I cover so much of land? Will there be land disputes? Will there be issues? Will it be conflict with agriculture? So there is a solution to it. It's called agrovoltaics. I just build a little bit higher, 3 meters, 4 meters. And then I have very good agriculture below. So the whole of India I can build. Not a problem. In fact, my own view is that it is going to be better agriculture. So we are trying to recommend to government that we make a policy to encourage it.
We'll have to stop this interview here itself due to time constraint. That was a very enlightening and invigorating conversation, sir. We'll come back to you once again to speak to you about your childhood memories, UPSC journey, and training schedule at Labasna. Thank you for being part of this engrossing conversation. For more such interviews and programs, keep watching Indian Masterminds. Press the bell icon to get regular notifications. Stay curious, stay tuned, and stay informed. Thank you once again.